Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Says you too. This is Pastor Dowell. You know, I know how can I say this and try to at least penetrate the minds and the conscious some way, somehow. How can I say this? How can I do this? I think the best thing I can do is to ask you from the beginning and very outset of this video to please just listen to what I'm saying and hear me out. Now listen to my words. I am not anti-law enforcement. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? I am not against any type of police or sheriffs or what they call government authorities. What I am anti is, and what I hate is corruption, fraud, lies, and the abuse of so-called authority simply because you wear a badge. You know, there's an old saying that says power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely, or absolute power corrupts absolutely. And whenever someone has power, you know, granted to them, delegated to them, given to them by a greater authority, there's always the potential of abuse there. And the way I see it and the way I understand, if you are in any type of form or area of influence, you have any type of platform to where you can influence men, women, children, you have a great responsibility on you, and you must tell the truth and be a man of honor and integrity, so that the people don't fear. Because like I said, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. I'm a pastor, and my main job is to make sure that I shepherd y'all sheep. And I know that a lot of times sheep, meaning people, can easily be taken advantage of and have their conscience and mind swayed, especially through lies. Lies are very dangerous, very, very dangerous, because they can shape your mind, and you can get to the point to where you're so deceived that you actually believe the lie is the truth. And you know, we have a bunch of what you call in religion, they have a bunch of what you call soft commandments or soft laws. They have nothing to do with the Bible whatsoever at all. And you know, I'll give you an example. If I was a preacher who practices adultery, no matter how much truth that I tell, and you know that I'm a practicing adulterer, would you still listen to me regardless of my weak nature with women? Would you listen to me? I'm asking a question about that because if you wouldn't listen to me, and if you would disregard what I'm saying and turn it down and no longer listen to me, and simply because I have that one character flaw, and you're so easily manipulated to disregard all the other truth, and you're so easily affected by that, what about the injustices and the lies and the fraud and the direct representation that we have set before us here in this life now? What about these people who present themselves as righteous, noble, and honorable, and yet the truth is there's a character flaw, not one but 1,000, many of them in their own life, but they get up in front of the camera in front of you and act like that they're righteous. See, you don't see that part. You don't see that part at all. But you automatically assume that everything that they're saying is for you is the truth. Now, I call that deceived. I call that manipulate, because I personally expect that if I have some type of sinful character flaw like that, that I just cannot seem to overcome, then you shouldn't be listening to me. Because I do know this: no fornicator, no adulterer, no infeminate, no liars. None of these type of people who practices these behaviors, no drunkard, is going to inherit the kingdom of Yah. Now, you may not like that. It's totally irrelevant. I didn't write it, but I do support it. So therefore, since I know that these people will not inherit the kingdom of Yah, I personally choose not to practice such immoral behavior. Now, as a pastor, I have power of influence, providing that you have the spirit of truth where you can hear me. But I dare not ever to use that power to manipulate, to try to take advantage or control the minds of his people. Because I have a greater judgment and a greater condemnation that will come to me if I abuse the power that he has given me. And I choose to walk in obedience to his fear, regardless of what the world thinks or say. Totally irrelevant. Because the truth is, I don't have to answer to you. You don't have to answer to me. When the breath go out of our body, it's going to be like a vapor of mist. And I tell you one thing, we all are going to stand before judgment. Ain't nobody going to escape it. So you better hope that you've obeyed the commandments and lived an honorable life while there's breath in the body, while there's a chance, and not continually to succumb yourself to deception and sin and forms of witchcraft. So no, I'm not against what you call authority, civil authority. No. I'm against corruption. And as a matter of fact, a sheriff has the power to deputize anybody in his county where he is the civil authority. He can choose to block the feds from coming into his county. He can choose, like many other states in this union, to totally ignore the so-called gun legislation that they're trying to pass through Obama gun bills. He can do that because he's the sole authority in that county. And I support sheriffs who support the Constitution of the United States of America. I'm behind them 100%. Why wouldn't you be? I mean, if somebody is going to actually obey the rule of law, why would you be against them? That is just simply not intelligent. Now, on the flip side, if you are corrupt and they are corrupt, that means you're going to support corruption. Do you understand that? So I think what people need to do, and rather than jumping through the gun or jumping through hoops and stuff, they really truly need to pay attention to words. Again, I'm not against any righteous law enforcement if there's such a thing. Because my opinion of law enforcement is diminishing day by day, week by week, month by month, and year by year. What you got is you got maybe 2 good apples in an entire apple cart. And let's just tell the truth. People say, well, that's my private life and it shouldn't have any bearing on my job. No, that's a lie. Because if you are corrupt and you are immoral and you live sinful in your private life, then just by mere fact you live that way is going to have influence on your civil life, the life that you are living right out in front of everybody. And hey, you have developed an attitude. You develop a mindset and a spirit over here that will ultimately affect your public life, whether you like it, understand it or not. And it will affect your judgment. As a matter of fact, you will actually grade on a curve and judge on a curve if you're not doing righteous. So don't tell me that people and what they do in their private life doesn't matter. What I do in my private life, will it not have an influence upon the people who choose to listen to me and accept me as their pastor? You better believe it will. You better believe it. You don't know how many preachers that live in secret sins and have sins that when they get up behind that pulpit, they are controlled and manipulated by spirits to justify wickedness. And I'm not about to do that. Sin is sin, and I'm going to blast it hard. And there is no way that you're going to have a relationship with me as a pastor, a friend, a brother, or a sister if you choose to live a sinful lifestyle. Now, that's my decision. That's my prerogative. I don't practice living in sin. I do not live a sinful lifestyle. Now, I cannot say that I have never sinned, because I have done a lot of sin. And I know the pain that happens with sin. So therefore, I have personally chosen, my own personal decision is to despise, spurn, and hate sin. As a matter of fact, I decided to fight against sin a long, long time ago. And I love the battle and the war. Yes, I do too. I love righteousness. I love the commandments. I love the law. So whether you be in the public or private sector, no matter what you do, whatever you do in your private time does affect your judgment in the public. That's the reason why you have to have just people in authority, not wicked people, not wicked people. You can't have people who will present themselves as if they're just and you know that they're wicked. No. That's a cancer on all of our mindsets. And I need to use these as examples so people can see and understand my perspective and where I come from. In this little small county that I live in, I've met a few, what I would consider to be just deputy sheriffs. Only a few. Only a few. You wouldn't believe some of the looks I get from the police department, sheriff's department. And I know that all of them watch my videos. They can't help it. They hate my position. And the only reason why some people would hate my position is because they hate the righteousness and the truth I stand for. You people out there that choose to follow the religion of Christianity, what kind of integrity of heart do you have when you hold your Bible on Sunday and you go to church on Sunday when there's not one single reference in the Bible to choose the day of the sun over the Sabbath? What do you do about that? Now, how can I trust you? How can you be a man or woman of honor and integrity when you can't even obey a simple fourth commandment of remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, and the Sabbath ain't Sunday? How can I trust you? How can I? Do you expect me to just trust you simply because you have a smile on your face? No, I see your heart by what you do. And people deceive people with words all the time, but I know your heart towards him by the way you live and by the way you do. Now, if you are immoral, if you are a commandment breaking person, you're going to hate me because I represent what the book states and says. And if I am so wrong, I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Where are all the people who so-called, you're supposed to love your neighbor? Where are all the people that's supposed to be so-called loving your neighbor warning me of my grave error and my wickedness that I'm in order to try to save my soul so that I don't go to a living eternal burning hell? Where are all those caring people at? Just trying to say, I don't see no Christians trying to bust down my door or ring my phone trying to convert me and show me the error of my way. Now, I will contend because the Bible does teach that we need to contend. If you're going to try to convince me, now remember, I come from Sunday. So if you're going to try to convince me according to that Bible that Sunday is the Sabbath and stuff, you better bring a lot of Bible. You better bring a whole bunch of Bible, because I have yet, as a student of the Word, found that. Now, I was raised in a culture. I was raised in a society where they exalt sun worship. But after I become age, instead of a little boy, I start to search these things out. And I found out somebody done lied to me. So, hey, I'm for righteous law enforcement, but not wicked. Just like I'm for righteous preachers. There's like, here that the feds, the local sheriff cannot enforce immigration laws. Did you know that? They cannot do it because it's a federal law. So why does the government expect and I know there's a lot of changes in this, why does the government expect for the local sheriffs to support a federal gun ban or gun laws against the people? It's just nonsensical. It don't make sense.